To order.
Call the meeting to order at 3 o'clock.
And then ask for your roll call.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Badoon,
Here.
Mr. Christensen,
Present.
Mr. Popa is absent, and Mr. Walter.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Okay, just had our main meeting, and we have to start getting together our 25 through 29 plan together. So we'll start doing that. Things topic-wise, I did get the thing from Savin for the invasive species spraying.
Keith,
Yes?
you've got to go for the proposed agenda. If there's
Okay.
any, additions or deletions.
Okay.
I'll just coach you first a little.
Yeah,
bit
that
as we
works.
go
That
through,
works great.
Okay. So just kind of follow down on the agenda. So do you want to ask for any input on the agenda?
Do we have any input for the agenda? Any additions?
Changes?
I move to accept the agenda as presented. I second.
Okay. And then you call for the,
Just a voice vote?
All those
In favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And now we have public comments.
you can invite.
Do we have any public comments?
None?
None? Any staff comments?
None for me.
Okay.
Now you've got to go to approval of minutes.
Do we have approval of the minutes for this meeting?
Let me take a peek, I don't know. Did Bill Monson make it to the park?
This fall? Yes, he did. And he's contacted me. They still owe us more work which will be done this coming season.
Perfect. That's for invasives. It's spraying, it wasn't the goats, right?
The goats will be involved, this
Okay.
season, which the further deaths, Tom Adams and myself to be there with the goat people to identify where we want no activities and what we don't. That contact was from Bill was in January. I haven't, it's early January, I haven't contacted him since then, but he said, we owe you for doing this. Oh, no, I did talk to him on the phone briefly. He said, no, the goats will be involved here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it'd be good if we knew that to get the Enterprise there. Be a great photo op. Anyway, that was in the minutes.
I'll keep that in mind.
Anything else?
Move to approve the minutes as presented. Second.
Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, now you're on to your discussion item.
Okay, invasive plant, the spraying. I did get their contract as well. So are we comfortable with what they did last year?
3 years ago, 2 years.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Now, maybe we can get a mini update. I think last year was kind of interesting, and they treated 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Okay, go ahead. Well, Dave, maybe we can get Dave to,
Yeah, I've been in touch with him in person. Let him know the seriousness I expect with the recommendations we go through, that we will hire them again. Because if you recall, the discussion last year started with, if we can manage the weeds ourselves. There was a long delay in getting into the state portal. I'm trying to remember all of this, to learn the steps involved. First, we don't need a license because we're a public entity, but we didn't need a permit. but the actual applicant has to have a license. And in going through that, we discovered that somebody then had to go through coursework and a test to get the license. It was some other 2 steps involved. That was 1 step. That was some actual coursework and then test. And in the discussion, as I remember, it was decided, well, that isn't going to happen. You know, who amongst us will volunteer, or is the county going to assign this to Scott or somebody to go through this education and take a test? So the discussion took us back to going with the outside contract, because that all becomes their issue. And I'll say some more about the permitting. But in any case, that's why we're back and talking about Saturdays, because we just decided this doesn't make sense for us to try to do it all ourselves. The cost of the contract it's up $200. It's $42.25. No, 2024. I said 42. $2,425 for the basic bond management program, which includes 3 algacides and 2 broadleaf applications if needed. I've already told them it appears that algae is still going to be, I'm guessing that algae may still be our biggest problem this year because of the way it took over the last 2 years. And that happened because, though we weren't we were not happy with what they did before. And I'm not laying that on them exactly. We applied too much herbicide, knocked out everything.
Oh, including the vegetation on the bottom for, okay.
Broadly, the algae was there. And then we learned from Heather, our fisheries gal for DNR, that's our real technical consultant on the pond, that we had just set the stage for a huge algae bloom. So I think that's what we're going to face this year.
So we've had 2 years of big algae.
The steps involved, John and Steve know this, Ethan, you be clear on this. This group has to recommend to the full Parks and Rec Commission that we go for this contract. Again, 24-25, $2,425. And then the full commission has to recommend, because it's a contract, has to recommend approval to the county commission. The point is, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And those steps have to really be done, should be done by the 1st of March, because there's an early payment of $250 before any applications for the permits. I have not gotten a deadline, drop dead deadline for that $250 from SAT. Once these recommendations go through, I'll find out, well, should they, I don't remember how this got handled 3 years ago. It was a bit of an issue, getting the commission to approve the $200 then for the permit before we started any application. So we were paying out money before we got anything. I don't know, you have to take it through these steps.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that Savin can send us a separate invoice. I don't know what's going to make that bill the easiest, but that's the issue. Is by sometime or mid-March at the latest, we need $250 available for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get the application in. The application then may take 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm wondering if Savin if we could get the Board of Commissioners to approve the whole bill, the application fee, the cost, if we can present that as a one bill, get that all covered at once.
Well, the application fee, I think, is included in that.
24? Okay, okay.
But I don't know how.
We won't pay in advance.
Paying in advance is
Okay.
a difficult issue. In this case, we have to.
Right.
And we got to understand that.
It's It's a permit application.
We got,
Yeah, I think,
we got the full commission to understand it before.
Right.
But it was, I don't remember, we had to explain it, and it took a little time, and I know we want to be careful about getting it to Saturday,
Mhm.
really.
Well, I could ask that this be put on the agenda for March's meeting. And maybe we can get a motion to get that funded.
when is the county meeting next week?
The
Next week,
Board of
Wednesday.
Commissioners
Yes.
regular meeting? I'm sorry, I don't know. It's the first Tuesday, is it, of the month? No, that's the executive, so
Yeah, the
the
executive's first
It's
Tuesday,
tomorrow?
second
second Tuesday of the month.
9:30.
Okay, so it's not
Not
tomorrow.
No.
It's a week from tomorrow. So we have our meeting, we've specifically scheduled our meetings to be a week ahead of the
Mhm.
county board. So, when we recommend this to the Parks and Rec Commission, that'll be Wednesday. Parks and Rec Commission can recommend it to the county board, which would be the following week. So we're right on time, I think, to get this thing
I
through.
think you can get those two recommendation steps done
So this
this month.
Yeah, so
what time is that Wednesday?
What, Wednesday? The-
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec meeting.
It's at 3 o'clock. Dave, did you say the 24-25 cost includes the permit fee?
Yes.
Okay.
I move that we make a recommendation to the Parks and Rec Commission to move forward with the contract with Savin for the standard pond maintenance program.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And that way it'll get it going, and the key part of this one that we're gonna have them do is to make sure there's the right people there with
Right.
them. So we spot treat versus they did a full boat, and we don't want that.
This is the most important thing, is that we be much clearer. Heather thought she was clear with them, I thought I was clear with them. And I was there, I just didn't understand what I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
This year, we gotta be really careful about what areas we treat, what we don't.
Mm-hmm.
I anticipate I'll bring this back to this committee, April. So take the aerial view of the pond and we can color up where we think
Mm-hmm.
we want some treatment, where we want lead weed. I'll get that, Rob will convert that into an electronic file for me, so
Okay.
that they see it visually, and then I'll be there when treatment occurs.
Okay.
Perfect.
Weather like this would be perfect.
The water has to get to the right temperature, that's the critical part.
Mm-hmm.
They want the permit in hand, so that when the time is right,
Mm-hmm.
they can get in and do the job.
Okay.
And it's water temperature that matters.
But do you have an idea of the water temperature? Do you have an idea of what the water temperature should be?
I don't stop in the end. Yeah, I don't.
And we have ice there, right?
I would say at least 60.
I was gonna go with 60, it seems would be a guess at the minimum, but I can find that out too. But we won't, if I understand correctly, and I'm certainly no expert on this, we will see algae bloom starting before it's warm enough for much of the broadleaf, bottom connected leaves to start. And so we can get going on that algae side. I've got it. I know Savin likes to plan service at multiple spots, multiple customers in any one area, and so schedule
Mm-hmm.
into one area. That if you wanted to come back at another time, it says somewhere in their literature that it could cost $125, I think, for a custom trip up here. Well, we can avoid all of that if I just stay in communication with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you guys will have enough to do. You don't need to worry about this issue. If I can go on with one more,
Sure.
I need to ask a question. Do you have to go out to bid for this, though?
We will request a waiver of bid.
Yeah.
Because
we're under 5,000.
we've been working with.
Well, it is under 5.
Well, we could do the quotes, but we've already contracted with Savin. They've been our company for years now.
So it's kind of a sole source thing again.
Yeah, we're good as far as quotes. That's-
I don't think we need
We don't
those.
need to go.
Yeah, it is under 5,000, so.
Oh, got it.
The important thing, Keith, that I didn't get the first time, it doesn't matter, if the contract was for $1, you gotta take it through
Right.
the recommendation and commission votes. And
Yeah,
that's the main thing
we'll
is-
request a waiver of bid because we've been using Savin right along, and that's, we went through that whole process once already, and I don't think there's any need to do it. We've got the outfit that's most reliable and has this area, and,
It was recommended by Heather too, well,
right,
Heather, it wasn't that she recommended them, she said that they were one of 3 or so that they really approved us working with.
yeah, so,
They have a good relationship.
yeah.
Um,
They know our situation and the whole thing. I don't see any reason not to have the county board waive that bid.
Yeah, I think they would waive that process.
If it's less than 5, we could do 3 quotes without going out to bid.
Mhm.
And Scott, haven't they tried, or they've tried to get this done prior to Kids Fish Day too? So that's another kind of deadline that you want
Oh,
to
yeah.
work around.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's part of the point,
Yeah.
make sure there's open water.
For Kids Fish
4
Day.
years ago, or whenever you
Mhm.
couldn't get anything off below the surface because it was just covered. Now, and I'll say this for the committee's future. One more step we can think about for helping the county, like Leelanau, manage invasive aquatics is signage. Last year I couldn't find, I looked several times, I wasn't exhaustive, but I looked for signage that says, clean your tackle. Don't allow any vegetation from the pond to leave Veronica Valley Park. Everything was about cleaning your boats. The bulk of the sign wasn't, it just wasn't right. So I would think that it'd be good to have the first sign, have signage up, Fish Day.
Mhm.
I found with the tree corrals that if you just on my computer, print out fishermen, and then have it laminated, it'll last the whole season. I mean, we put it on our poster. It doesn't have to be some commercial printed
Right.
thing to get that started.
One of the other issues too is the bait getting contaminated,
Yeah.
and basically requesting the bait to be pitched into the garbage as you leave the event, which is contrary to fishermen in general, but that's what happens.
I used to commit that sin, I'd be done with, I'd have 2 night crawlers left, Canadian giant night crawlers. And be leaving the creek and the river and just dump them on the ground. They're nasty, I guess, for the forests. So I thought I think I'll write up something that we all can approve. Because I think right away, Fish Day, we should start with some signage would be the next step in terms of invasive management,
Mhm.
what the park can do.
I can say, if they're tossing bait, we would have to have some sort of container that, that could hold that. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be kind of messy, but as far as the cleaning your bait, I mean, yeah, that would help, but as a DNR that goes to all the boat launches on Lake Leelanau, nobody uses the sprayers. Nobody.
That's why I think I'll write up a sign.
At least we'll have signage.
Yeah, I mean, we do the best we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do know, experience was, Did simply laminating them. They actually lasted there for 2 seasons, I think, through all the sun.
Mhm.
You did all the bird ones and stuff, they lasted a long time.
So I'll take that on too as we get there. The fish day is kind of a launch for that. So, this actually was something that,
Right.
because Steve, you're right, I'll say something about bait. You'll have to figure all that out, but
Yeah.
I expect between now and June, I'll be here, I'll be with most of your committee meetings.
Perfect.
Check in.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Are we done with the invasive species part?
Yeah, we've got a motion even, so I think we're in pretty good shape.
Yep. So Wednesday, 3 o'clock is when the Parks and Recs meet, so, all right, you hear that? Okay.
So, just a suggestion, Keith, as the chair for this committee, then you would want to bring that forward at
Right.
the next meeting.
Do I need to be put on the agenda for that then?
I think what we can do, because the agenda's already been posted.
Okay.
It was suggested that where you have this section where you say approval of agenda, adds, deletes, gets added there.
Okay. Cool.
Steve, that's this Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah, Wednesday, 3 o'clock.
John, I don't know if you were there, but they recently changed the time. We used to meet at 3:15 and now we're going to go to 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Do we have
Thank you.
a regular agenda for the year made up yet
For meeting times.
for Parks and Rec Commission?
I don't know if they have a scheduled,
Yearly schedule?
yearly schedule yet, I'm not sure.
You know, have we had Monday
Thanks,
night?
Dave.
Take lunch, we take them out.
All right. See you, Dave. Thanks.
I'll look into that.
Okay. All right, next thing. I happened to go, when we had that snowstorm, I happened to take a drive to Veronica, out of curiosity. And the porta potty doors were flapping in the wind, and one of them had a snowdrift in there. So that's why I brought up the potential of barrier, a wind barrier, or somewhat to keep that from happening. Like I say, it was kind of comical. That was not, they weren't usable. I mean, unless you shoveled them out type of thing. So I had thought about seeing if we could have something like that right there, where it's somewhat of a wind barrier. And I don't know, is that something that we build here in-house, or is that something that would be contracted to be built? Okay. So that would be something that we would have to investigate, to have something like that put. I can't remember if that one was handicap accessible or not. I don't think it was. I think they were too small.
Two regular ones.
Oh, neither, Mark?
Yeah,
It will be, though.
we've got a piece of concrete poured
Right.
there now, so that's enough area for 2 porta potties and a dumpster,
Garbage.
or the trash bins. Are those they're in a position where the truck can grab them?
That's why we made them so big.
Okay. Perfect.
So we would need something constructed there then as far as a barrier, but that would also have to be accessible for the dumpster to be emptied. And is that area shoveled at all by the parks? Are that area shoveled at all around those? Just plowed? Okay.
It's just too much work. That's why I can't build it.
Right.
I mean, I'm so far behind now. It's impossible to do everything. That's an old operation
Right.
without gas.
So we would have to shop around and possibly get a bid maybe on something like that.
Yeah, we'd have to go through the process.
I can say one thing in the design, Old Settlers has a partition in front, and the women didn't like it because it was solid. They couldn't tell what was behind it. So that all is rotted, and I replaced it with glass. And it liked it a lot better. Okay, it's not just things. Anyway,
Okay.
I got pictures. See it.
No, I get a visual of that.
Yeah, we can, I think what we need to do probably by consensus, we could say, let's do some research on it.
Get some costs and,
And get some ideas.
Yeah.
As to how it might look. Once we know how we want it to look, then
right.
we can go through the process of,
That one that was on the picture I gave you. It's way too overbuilt. It's 10 foot, 5/4,
yeah, that's Palmer,
6 by 6.
Palmer Woods, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's solid versus.
Yeah,
And it
it
doesn't,
doesn't have that view through.
what do we have at, Old Settlers? Isn't there some lattice on that enclosure? Or is it,
Yes, it was panels on top.
and that, there's like three-sided and then a roof? And then the front's all open?
Just front, yeah, it's just
Just a barrier, yeah. Just a visual barrier so people feel a little bit of privacy.
Yeah, so that's an Old Settler. So let's go by consensus, get an idea of what we want it to look like,
Right.
and then we can go from there. And that is something that we can probably fit into a yearly budget pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
I could draw it if you want to.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Some drawing. John is an architect.
There you go.
He's a darn good one. He designed my house.
No kidding.
That's
And you're settling it.
And we're still in it, and we're still talking to each other.
I feel terrible that I'm late, but, we're just doing this to keep the snow out.
Well, it's a privacy thing as well too, because apparently I know guys don't really care, but apparently the women like have a little bit of a privacy, coming in and out of the porta potty.
I don't know, you go to a cherry festival and there's porta
yeah.
potties all over, none of them have a fence in front.
Oh, yeah.
If that fence is there, it causes more problems than just that, with the truck, you can plow up to it and push into the woods. And with a fence there, you can't. Access I know we made that thing big enough for wheelchairs and stuff later on, and that'll be in the way of that. One, it costs money. Pumping out is another thing. Setting these things there, I think they're there year round, aren't they?
The bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead and look into it and stuff, but right now that's not high on my list, and I think it's a barrier more than it is. You could probably get something pretty that would have holes in the ground and you could lift it out and put it back in, but I wouldn't want anything there permanent, and that's my 2 cents.
I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I say, when I got there and saw the doors.
That door's been broke, Williams needs to
Oh, yeah.
replace that one.
All right. Normally the spring is strong enough that we
Yeah,
can do
you'd think
that.
so. They bang shut, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there was a drift in there and everything, and I thought, well, that's.
I guess we better tell the people that,
Yeah,
fix the door.
Good for that one?
I think so. We've
The
got
only thing-
John doing some sketches. We're gonna see what we want, and we have opposition from John, so
Yeah.
it's a good discussion
There you
point.
go. The next thing on my list, the only one else, is going to be the ADA compliant pathway. It's a lot to be compliant with ADA. I talked to a lot of different people, and they said, oh, it's gotta be no more than 3/8 crushed stone, the way they pack it and everything else. I mean, I see driveways done that way. I'm pretty impressed. I have a neighbor that had his driveway done that way, and I'm looking for washout, and it's not happening. So, it's gotta be minimum 36 inches wide. Um,
36,
that's what I was told, was 36 inches wide minimum.
5 feet.
Just for a pathway?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
well,
gotta be able to pass through wheelchairs.
right. This is for like a one-way type of thing, so, yeah. But anyway, I've looked at that and I can't get any sort of an estimate because they want to look at the base. Obviously, we have different type of bases out there. So that's something I was looking at, is possibly going forward with that.
Where, Keith?
At the Veronica, some of the trails.
The trails in the back or trails right?
Well, I mean, we can't do the whole thing at once, but start with the front, where your handicap parking area is accessible there. Maybe go out to the fishing point or something like that, see how far out. It goes all the way out to the fishing point? Okay,
It's ADA.
Yeah, that one we made already.
okay.
John was
But-
involved in that. He's an ADA guy.
We've been looking at doing 2 loops.
Mhm.
First loop being over the Mackinac Bridge and back, and the second loop going farther out to the dam and back, or all the way around and back.
There's a difference between ADA and U-Way.
Okay, I was looking at ADA. It seems to be,
You wanna go U-Way because it's gonna be the standard.
is it gonna be the standard?
We,
Are they compatible?
Yeah, U-Way is just a step above that.
Okay,
Basically, it's wider.
We paid this contractor 3 years ago to draw up our plans for all our stuff, and we beat that ADA stuff around when he was looking for grants, remember? And he had a real good estimate that if we were gonna do this, and he had it colored, that now the grant's gonna have to be another 100,000 more, and the committee as a whole, not just this committee as a whole, as we look, and that plan is available someplace in that packet, but what was the name of that contractor? Gosling Zoo? No.
Kind of thing.
Was it Gosling? And we beat that ADA, and there's figures in there of what it would take to do some loops, big loops, and due to the grades and stuff, you can't make it all that for the few that would use it. And then when we put the walkway around, John and I worked on that, and so, and we made sure that had the right hard packed stuff, and you can get a wheelchair down there, and so
Okay.
people can get out of their car and they can go there and look at the lake.
okay.
But to get from here and there, it was tens of thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. But anyway, don't want
Well,
to.
I'm just saying, if we couldn't get a grant on something like that, then it might not be feasible to even try to go that route.
We should probably show them that study, that Gosling study. It'd be interesting reading, Keith.
Okay.
And, we paid for that particular park.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did them all, didn't he?
He started with Veronica, and then we realized that our 5-year plan was expired,
Yeah,
and we needed to get that together to go out and try for a grant. The 5-year plan is a key element if you're going for state monies and grant monies. So we just had him keep on going and hired him to do the 5-year plan.
Okay.
And now this 2024 is our year to move forward.
Right,
with
to do another 5-year
another
plan.
5-year plan.
Do we want to consider that towards the 5-year plan?
Oh, definitely it'll be on the
Okay.
5-year plan. I think, I'm sure that it's on the current 5-year plan. I thought I had that with me always, but I don't have it.
I don't know if it's in front of my book or not. My book is at
It
home.
used to be, but, the
Yeah.
current 5-year plan that we are redoing has the wish list for all of the parks, and we actually have them in the CIP. Improvement plan, what's the first word? Starts with
Continuous.
continuous.
Capital. Capital improvement plan.
Capital improvement plan, CIP. Anyway, all of those big pieces that are in the 5-year plan are in the capital improvement plan, which is in planning. So that's the process. You got your wish list, and it's a capital improvement. And the pathways for Veronica, the walking path for Old Settlers, no, for Miles, those are in the CIP. So we need to make sure the CIP is upgraded with all of the
Mhm.
stuff that's going in our 5-year plan. And in the process, maybe move forward with something.
Okay. Because that's one thing we'll have to put together is our 5-year plan.
Yeah, that's gonna eat us up pretty much for a bit here, on the Parks and Rec Commission side. We've got some normal stuff that moves through. Yeah, we've done pretty well at Veronica. We've got the entrance done. The parking lot is ongoing. It's been massaged, and we've got it to a point where um, I think we approved a certain design, if I remember right. And that's something that could be improved upon as far as the base.
Right.
The asphalt part of it's pretty tall. It'd be quite a bit of money to asphalt it.
Oh, yeah.
And whether or not we actually do that a short term, I don't know, but that's been worked on. Is that a copy, John, right there?
Yeah, that's a plan. Keep seeing it or not.
How durable is that packed chipstone as far as plowing? Does that hold a pretty good surface?
Yeah.
It peels right up?
We don't have pads that are plows. Unless it's concrete or ash,
Or frozen.
it's coming out all the time.
Yeah. Not this time of year here, anyway.
No. That was a mess in there for a couple of weeks. Terrible.
So as far as plowing goes, the asphalt's a home run. That's the way to go.
Ooh, wow, wow.
Yeah.
And would that be feasible to
They're
try?
packed for skiing. Trails.
So not to plow? Plow it so people can ski?
Well, I don't, no, they would not. The parking lot.
Parking lot would be plowed.
Yeah, if anything, you
Yeah.
groom the trails.
Great. So we're all set to groom. It's been pretty skinny the last couple of years.
We rolled twice this year.
And that was it, just Veronica? Yeah, we're set up to take the RTD with tracks
Mm-hmm.
between Veronica and Miles, so we can do grooming on both spots. But
Not now.
it hasn't happened. Just haven't had enough snow to make a continuum. Veronica's gotten some grooming last year. This year just really.
Oh, this year. People were skiing.
Yeah.
All right, anything else that somebody wants to bring up for the agenda? Anything added to it? Mr. Papa?
Yes, Keith. Maybe you talked about it, but did we buy that ladder? We need to buy the ladder. We already gave authorization to do it within the budget. And I think we, huh?
I just got that.
And he knows which one to buy, but we gotta buy that ladder and purchase it and give him the instructions to go ahead and we'll put the thing in. There's a safety ladder, right?
Yeah, it's in the risk assessment that you need one.
It's in the risk assessment, so.
Okay.
We just gotta put some fire under. It was approved last fall and it's only a few $100 and stuff.
Right.
And so we gotta write a purchase order to do that. Do we gotta tell someone else or do we just tell Scott? Okay.
He's already gonna do it.
And the funds have already been approved and everything?
Yep.
So all you have to do is
It was
submit the
discussed.
bill.
Right.
The other thing that falls in Scott's hands, and I'm willing to help him, is we gotta get our sign back up. Since we put this culvert in, we put a brand-new culvert in last year, and it took another year to get at it and stuff. And we took our sign down because it was in a way for a lot of other work.
Mm-hmm.
And do we gotta agree where to put it? Scott would like it, correct me if I'm wrong, about halfway down the property. There's no bushes there. You could put it closer to the entry, but, do we want to walk it and tell them where to do it? Has anybody got an idea where to do it, or should we just let Scott put it up? 'Cause we got a tractor with an auger, right? And I can go help and we can put the thing, you probably got the thing
We
saved.
still need some new lumber though, I'd like to replace it.
What's that?
We need some new lumber for it, but that's what.
Does it go
I'm
on,
willing to start in the spring and help them go buy the lumber and get that sign back up.
does it go on the road side of the fence?
It'd have to be on the other side of
On the other side of the fence?
outside the right away.
Okay.
Roadside's just a ditch.
Okay.
I think by consensus, we can just have Scott put it where it makes the most sense.
Yeah,
Good. I think that's an idea.
I mean, it's,
And let me know when you wanna,
It's just one of those things, you know?
yep,
It's on the list, but
you could probably don't have any more frost on the ground now.
Last year, the person that was hired got injured.
what?
The person that was hired to help
Yeah,
got injured.
and it still wasn't enough. You need two full-time people.
I was looking at our springtime weather before the lawns start coming in. And I don't know what your schedule is, but I'd say during the month of April, when it's 50
Yeah.
degrees out or something,
The whole fence around the back parking lot, it all has to be replaced. So half of it's falling down. Another thing there.
Well, I think by consensus, we can talk about who we're gonna hire for the field season and make that a priority too. We can add that to the agenda if it's not already on.
of who we gotta talk for what?
We need 2 full-time people for the field season for parks.
Keith, just so you know, I'm not even full-time now.
You're not?
No, I don't work for the parks right now.
Okay.
So, it's a governmental center.
Yeah. Yeah,
I work 6 months in the park all by myself.
yeah. Well, I work part-time for the DNR and, here's the keys to the truck and here's the gas card and
You told me.
have at it. So I understand that.
Okay, so the sign, did you guys talk about that cable on the bridge, the rail?
Hmm.
I don't know what you think about it, John, but part of that insurance thing said that our gaps and our boards are too far. And, huh?
We talked about just running the line.
And we thought about buying a cable and getting heavy staples and put it between the boards. But I got thinking about it. And you go down by the open space in Traverse City and they don't have rails. They just have big pipe things and they're 24 inches apart. Not that I defy any regulatory inspector, but that gets me cross-threaded when they come up with some stuff. You got a whole pond around there, and then just before that little bridge, they want us to put a gap. We'll take the railing out and just put a piece of pipe up there. And that came about, that regulation in building code, where you got stairways and stuff, where little kids are creeping around. I don't know that someone got to look at, is it required every place or just in households? And are you good enough to look that up? I don't know.
I can, John. Usually, if whatever it is, the local grade is greater than 36 inches, then you have to have a handrail.
Right,
And the handrail needs to be 36 inches high.
Right.
Those spaces greater than 4 inches for horizontal. But if it's commercial, then it's got to go up 42 inches. So we had to go 42 inches.
and you think everything has to be that 4-inch spacing in it?
That's,
Less than 4 inches.
yeah, but can't be, right. Well,
I wonder if you could go less, more.
Right.
Because what he's saying, like the open space is just rail.
They're just piped. All around Traverse City, around the Boardman River, and that is just pipes and stuff. So I don't know if there's an exclusion in there, or I guess I like your skill in looking into it.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay, we'll put that on.
Could
We should, that's a bunch of crap to put that cable down there just because our boards are 6 inches apart, and then around the pond, there's nothing, and then, remember, we talked a lot about that walkway where we fish and stuff, and we were supposed to put railings and kick plates and this and that, and it was gonna cost us $100,000. We just put creosote board around that, and that's it, so people don't fall off. Anyway, I won't go
Those
on.
boards for the bridges, just for lumber, is about $2,000. Plus bolts, plus
A lot of work,
somebody to do it.
yeah, a lot of work.
Plus the cut.
I'll look for an economical way to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
It's a big job.
Do we have anything to do, Steve, soon about this fish day? Heard you guys talk about that already.
We talked about
spring.
the invasive and salmon contract. We made a motion to take the contract to the Parks and Rec on Wednesday
For the invasive.
for
But
salmon.
for Kids Fish Day, do we
For
gotta,
salmon. They're the outfit that takes care of the algae and weeds.
okay, talking about Kids Fish Day.
We didn't talk about fish.
Do we gotta get Heather to come to our meeting? That comes out of us that we take to our main Parks and Rec meeting. And this is already February, and I can't remember, Steve, when she comes to the main meeting, but does she need an invite, or is that something Keith should do, or should Keith call
She's the
Dave?
organizer of the kids fishing?
No,
She's a DNR.
she's a liaison and she's donating her time.
Okay.
And she is the liaison between us and Lagos Fish Farm. Lagos has a pond that they do just for Veronica each year. And we get everything that's in it, which is typically more than what we pay for. And it's a big outlay for us, I think 7,000.
It is, it's budgeted.
And then 500 we throw in the pot for a few more fish that Lake Association bills us for. So that's a big outlay for Kids Fish Day. We buy a whole bunch of bluegill. And Heather Hedinger is the.
What's that?
Fishing is a big deal.
I don't have her phone number in
Oh,
here.
we don't have contact for her?
We should contact the Lake Association.
We help out.
um,
You
Her
think the
last
Lake
name?
Association should
Pardon
contact
me?
Heather? We go through this every year. So the Lake-
Hetttinger, and she's with the DNR. She's the biologist there.
We should ask her what she wants to be done, and you want,
Do we have a contact
Who
with her?
is the
I'll look it up for you.
Okay,
liaison
thank you.
from?
I'll also give you some information.
The Lake
about
Association?
What she's done in the
Association.
past.
whatchamacallit took it
He
over.
used to own the Enterprise.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name.
That guy.
Heaven help me.
It's the same guy.
But, yeah.
Thought I
he's-
contact
Campbell?
Yeah,
Campbell? Alan Campbell?
Alan.
Alan took
He's
over.
He's in touch with Heather,
So what should we do
right?
before this meeting gets over? That's why I
Why
put-
don't you get in touch with Alan, John Popa, and,
The monkey's now at my back?
and,
I'll get the contact information from Heather and,
see if,
I'll get a hold of Alan and
see when Heather has to
see when
be
we,
involved and
oh yeah,
give a report and,
matter of fact, I'll get a hold of Alan and have him get a hold of Heather.
yeah, that's what I'm saying,
See that?
yeah.
So I got this monkey now, is that it?
Yeah, hand it over to Alan, have him,
Who's Alan now?
Alan Campbell.
Alan Campbell.
Is he a volunteer?
He's a Lake Association person.
Oh, okay.
But he took over the fish committee for the
Oh.
Kids' Day.
Oh, okay,
Kids Fish
okay.
Day, yeah.
And he's with the Leelanau Lake Association?
He is,
then? Okay.
Well, he's not a board member, he's
But
just
he's
a
volunteer.
He'll be on
volunteer.
the site.
Anyway, if you said Alan can't, so I gotta get a hold of Alan.
Get a hold of Alan, we gotta get the ball rolling on
I'm not gonna bring
Request.
anything else up then. I had about 4 more things here.
Kids Fish Day is in June, right? Kids Fish Day's in
Yes,
June.
I believe it's.
First,
First or second Saturday or second?
I don't know.
I
It's
think it
in
was June
June.
9th last year, that's what
I think it's the last Sunday in June.
The, I don't know if you want to do this, but the minutes from, I think it's May of last year, discusses when she came, what she's gonna do.
I know
What
it.
she's gonna pay for on those, where she's gonna buy it, how she's gonna buy it, it's all in there, so.
And that's how I was
Give you
hoping that
time
the chair would do it, but I'll find out.
It's, yeah, we're way ahead of the game, but ring Alan's chain and we'll get the ball rolling, make sure we're ahead of the game.
And how does he fit into the picture now? Because he works with.
He's a
Heather.
volunteer for Kids Fish Day out of Leelanau Lake Association.
So, Hope is gonna ask him to do what?
Yeah, he's a member of.
Popa will contact Alan Campbell to see what we gotta do to get things going with the DNR and everything else.
Okay.
See if, arrange for a time frame for, Heather usually does an update.
Presentation,
She does an update.
yeah.
I think she did a Zoom thing or something.
Yeah, with Zoom.
Did Dave talk about spraying our weeds?
Yep.
Yeah,
Not the lake weeds. Killing all the weeds that's invasive around the
He's
site.
having goats.
yeah, we have the goats coming.
Yeah,
Okay,
they were,
I'm sorry I was late.
Watson made it there in the fall, and he informed Dave that he owes us more work. He didn't get it all done.
They must eat a lot, because there's those weeds, and they say they take them right down. Those goats will just chew them right off. Interesting.
Yeah, it's something that'll be constant. And Veronica,
All right.
Anything else you want to add to discussion?
The fish last year were $7,332.
What day did she present that? What day did she present that? I didn't bring my big book.
Well, this is the invoice, it was May 3rd.
So I'm gonna say she came to our board meeting in April then.
Yeah,
probably.
I think that's
Yeah,
right.
there's nothing in the.
I think you're right. It's
Yeah.
April.
And so that only leaves Alan here
so
in 6 weeks.
what we do is, we get an invoice from Legis, the month before they actually
Mm-hmm.
bring the fish, and I turn it in, and I get a check. And Dave's been holding the check the last 2 years, and he's there when the fish are delivered. When the fish are delivered, the
Mhm.
check gets handed. So that's the way we've been handling it, which is, it's special for us.
Okay. Anything else? Any comments from our parks?
You've got a public comment, a call for public
Yep.
comment?
All right, public comment? Nope.
Okay, you got staff comment?
Any staff commissioners' comments?
No?
Motion to adjourn. Any second?
Support.
All right. We are adjourned.
All righty.
Appreciate your input, John.
Yeah.
Appreciate your input.
Well, I'm sorry, I had a list of what I was gonna do and then